What's up everybody? We got a shoe review for you today. Super stoked about this one. We're gonna take a look at the new Nano X1. All right, for the launch of this shoe, Reebok did something pretty cool. Basically send me a little locker, sent a handful of athletes a little locker here that kind of opens up and it has your Nano X1s in it. So they got the little date here for the release date. It's gonna be February 3rd when those things are available to the public. And then, man, pull out the shoe. First impression, super sharp looking. I like the design on it, specifically the gum bottom. The Nano 6 gum bottom is probably still one of my all-time favorite Nanos, if not any CrossFit shoe that's ever come out, just because of the look of it. And they brought it back several times because of how popular that look was. When you couldn't get them from Reebok, those shoes were selling on eBay for over what the retail price was on Reebok. That's how bad people wanted them. So I'm glad that they're launching, and I'm glad that they brought out the gum bottom, black upper, black finish all over, even on the sole, except for that little bit of gum on the bottom. Makes it really stand out. Really cool looking shoe to start with. Inside the locker, you've got like a little, the official shoe of fitness kind of explains a little bit about the Nano X1. That's kind of a cool touch. And then a little signed card from none other than my boy, Rich Froning. This is the official shoe of Faith, Family, and Fitness. Hope you like it as much as I do. Galatians 6:14 on there. Love that they included that in there, letting Rich show off his stuff. So that's pretty cool. Highlights of this one, the new Flex Weave upper. This stuff is gonna be super, super lightweight. It's more lightweight than the regular Nano X, which I like a lot. That's gonna add to higher points for some of the things that I rate shoes on coming up later here. But the new upper material is super lightweight, and it's not that all one-piece sock kind of fitting. You do have an actual tongue here, so everything does cinch down nice and tight. But that nice flexible upper just aids to the comfort of the shoe. When you slide it on, it feels comfortable right away. It's not something you feel like you have to break in or you're gonna have to push out on the materials or anything like that. Also feels pretty stable in there in terms of your foot being locked down. Like I mentioned before, the laces cinch down the fabric pretty well, and that keeps your foot locked in place. Next highlight is gonna be the float ride cushion that is in the forefoot of the shoe. So basically from here forward on the shoe is going to be a super soft, super pliable, very runnable piece of sole, and that actually adds to the runnability and the flexibility of the shoe. I'm super stoked that they did this. Innovate might be the only other company that kind of had a handle on this for a while, where basically from the forefoot forward is going to be a much more cushiony, much more comfortable piece of material that's going to cover where the ball of your foot is. And the ball of your foot is going to be super active when you're doing all sorts of different things. Box jumps, double unders, running. You have that nice squish, the nice flexibility of the shoe. If we were to compare the two, the Nano X to this one, in terms of how hard it is to actually bend back the toe, this one is way easier. It is a way more flexible shoe because of that highlight of the forefoot being that float ride material, which they use in other running shoes. It's a very popular thing that they put in their running shoes. I'm super stoked that they actually incorporated it now into the Nano. Next highlight is going to be that they added a 7mm drop to this shoe. What I mentioned in the Go Ruck shoe that we reviewed earlier this year, that I really like that they had an 8mm drop in the shoe that lifts the heel up, brings the forefoot down, and enables your tib to track further forward when you're doing specifically squatting movements. Okay, so Olympic lifting shoes allow your knee to track way forward because that heel is way lifted up. They added some lift in the heel in the Nano X1 here that is going to help you with squatting movements, moving a barbell, dumbbell, anything where your heels could potentially come up off the ground when you're squatting. So super stoked that they did that. It used to be only a 4mm drop, which I wasn't a huge fan of. A little bit of drop obviously helps. It's better than having a straight 0 drop shoe. But I'm super stoked that they jumped that up to 7mm. You can definitely feel it when you put them on. You can feel your foot go to that little bit of a tilt. And if you're not used to it, it might take a little bit getting used to at first when you're just kind of moving around the gym. But now when I slide them on, I expect it. It feels great, and I love it for all of those barbell movements. Okay, gonna review the big three: durability, stability, and runnability. Those are my three big important things of a shoe. Durability, I'm just gonna give this one a question mark right now. I haven't had enough time playing around with this, haven't done enough running, cutting, rope climbs, anything like that to rate it. If it's like any of the other Nanos that have come before it, which I imagine it will be, and that they took that into account, bringing durability into this shoe, even though they made it a little bit more lighter weight, I'm sure it's gonna be right up there with all the other shoes with being extremely durable. Pretty much every company by now has figured out kind of the rope climb fix or hack for shoes at this point. So durability, we're kind of just gonna keep it a question mark right now. We'll do another review later when we review all the different shoes and how it's held up, but right now I'm saying it's not gonna be something that you have to be concerned about. Runability, I'm gonna go 9 to 9.5 out of 10. The only reason I'm docking a half a point right now is because I just don't have enough time in the shoe. But the thing that I absolutely love about the runability of this, again, the float ride in the forefoot, that cushion there makes it super comfortable. You should land on your forefoot when you run. That's the proper way to land when you run. We've also reviewed that in an earlier video. So having that extra cushion there and that extra flexibility to let your foot do what it wants to do feels awesome when you're running. And then number two is this upper is so lightweight. The shoe is incredibly lightweight compared to the GoRuck shoe. Now, GoRuck shoe had that 8mm drop. Thing feels bomb-proof, but it is a little bit on the heavier side. This is gonna come in much lighter than the GoRuck shoe, and for that, that's why I'm gonna give it that high rating, 9, 9.5 out of 10. I could easily throw this on, go put in a 5K, feel comfortable doing it with that extra heel raise. It's gonna protect my Achilles, protect my calves. Those are things that I always look out for. And then again, that comfort in the forefoot. Again, it's something that I can come in here, if I'm doing Helen, if I'm doing some kind of running workout, I feel totally comfortable running around the track, running through any gravel outside, coming back in the gym and having to squat and do any other kind of weightlifting movements. So 9, 9.5 out of 10 on runability. They did a really good job with this one. Stability, right now I'm gonna give a 7 to 8 out of 10. I'm docking a couple points there just because of the sacrifice you make with that runability, right? It may not feel quite as stable as, say, the Nano X, but that's a great trade-off to me because they added that heel lift, so I'm still fairly comfortable in terms of moving weight around. You might notice again that the fabric in the upper is a little bit thinner, so when you're moving weight around, if you're carrying a heavy load, anything like that, you might feel your toe kind of push out on the side or something to that effect, maybe a little bit more than the Nano X or some of the Nanos that came before this that had that little bit of a heavier, beefier upper. But again, it's not something that I'm disappointed in. I'm probably edged more towards that 8 ranking right now, just with my initial review, because of the elevated heel. It just makes me feel more stable on the ground when I'm lifting weights and when you're moving any kind of objects, which you're always doing usually in a CrossFit class. So 8 out of 10 on the stability. All right, to wrap up, awesome shoe. I'm super excited to get a little bit longer term test with this. If you guys check out Reebok.com, they've got a lot of really cool colorways. Again, the black gum bottom or the all black are probably my favorite. They've done really well in other Nano shoes with that color scheme. And then they come in at a great price point, right around $130, which is gonna be competitive in the space, right? When you start comparing the Metcon, the GoRuck shoe, as well as Innovate's more CrossFit functional fitness style shoe. So definitely give the Nano X1 a look. Tal Short and the crew, you guys did an awesome job with this. Super excited to put it into a longer term test.